First of all, we need an introduction from the newest member, the latest to the party. Sorry, folks, we are missing J9. You know what I'm saying? J9 is not in the building today.
J9. Shout out to J9.
Shout out to J9. He's at a flag football tournament fulfilling his pipe dream. You know, he almost was NFL, but
NFL what?
he almost was NFL, but he wasn't.
Was he really?
He didn't quite make it, but you know what? He's flag right now, so he's a flag professional. He's a flag star. But J9, we missed you, man.
Oh man.
But everyone, check it out, man. It's your friendly neighborhood Negro, Finn here with the True Gains podcast. We got Mr. Drip,
Mr. Drip in the building.
Mr. Leaky Faucet, and we got Granddad. I know you guys are excited to see Granddad. My grandfather's here today.
Hey, I'm here, baby.
Yeah, he made it out. He had back problems last week, back and knee injuries.
Hey, if y'all see me just, stretching,
a lot of stretching.
all the time, just try to keep my back strong. That's it.
He couldn't drive last time. His cataracts was bugging him, but I had to.
Out of your eyes.
Hey, you know what?
They talking about his back.
I want to tell a story right now. I gotta tell a story.
Anyway, under the first topic.
No. I gotta tell a story, right? Because since the short time that we've known Finley, I remember that a transition where within a matter of a week he was like a totally different person. Like his life just
completely changed
from this particular incident. And earlier that day he was calling me granddad. He was saying, "You granddad, you done, bro. That was in the past. You don't got it anymore." And then I said, "All right, cool. Let's just go outside. Let's race real quick." So we went outside. We raced. It wasn't looking good for him. He did try.
It did not look good for him.
It wasn't looking good for him though. And I think when that happened, there was a shift, a mental shift, kicked in. He was like, "Oh."
I never seen that guy so humble. I never seen that guy so humble in my life, man.
I remember he made a video, it was in slow motion of him finishing the race.
Yo, and you look back at him too.
See, Granddad is just
And it was different. There was no jokes.
Yo.
He just was he came in, he did his work, he was quiet.
So,
man,
what he's doing,
I've ever seen Finley, bro.
right now what Granddad is doing is he's reminiscing. Those people that stay in their hometown and they used to play varsity football. I was almost NFL. I was a D1 recruit, but my left knee and my right knee, it's similar to that.
That's funny.
I'll give him that. Granddad, over a year ago, Granddad beat me in a race, and he taught me a very important lesson. To segue into the first topic of the podcast, the importance of humility. And of course, I will start because of the story. Granddad taught me a lesson that no matter how good you are at something, there's probably always going to be someone better than you. And I was humble. They say I was quiet. I took that
They
time.
say, bro, what you mean? You wasn't quiet, bro?
They say I was
You
quiet.
wasn't quiet? Man.
I want to.
Bro, we couldn't get this guy laugh for nothing, bro.
Sad. Sad.
I like to phrase it as
Oh, the part was too that he also said, you know what? Let's get this on Facebook.
I never said
Facebook
it.
Live, Instagram Live.
It was an IG live. I didn't recommend the live.
What?
I recommended it be recorded. Because
Or live.
win or lose, I wanted
Or
documentation. Now, did I expect myself to lose? Of course not.
What you mean?
But it's not something that I was opposed to doing. Like I
It's
said,
not funny.
Yeah,
It taught me a lesson.
That was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
it taught me an important lesson in humility, man, and recognizing that there's a lot to learn from those that come before you, because they know a lot more about things that you don't quite know yet. Way before you know. Learn that as a couple decades my senior. I want to.
Oh man, this guy funny.
When they say
She's
respect
on the
your
road
elders.
today, man. She's on the road today.
I'm serious though when
This
I say
guy's
it,
on the
though.
road today.
Talk to me a little bit, Granddad, let's start with you, man. Talk to me a little bit about the importance of humility, man. How do you feel like that comes to play in being a successful, functioning member of society, man? Knowing humility.
I think humility is that thing that gives you the opportunity to want to keep learning. A lot of times it's easy to be on fire in something, and you know you're good, and then you just start thinking that you already know everything, and there's nothing that anybody can tell you, and once that humility starts to move away, it's hard to catch grip. I'm kind of. Can you turn me down a little bit?
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, we can turn you down just a little bit. But
all right, cool.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. So you're saying humility kind of opens the door for education.
Yeah.
And gaining new skills.
The hunger to learn.
Break him down. Thank you. Okay, I respect that. The hunger to learn, man, growth. I feel like I hear what you're saying. When you're not a humble person, when you're very egotistical, it kind of closes the door for advancement.
You turn it down. I think it went up a little bit.
Yeah, it went out.
I think that's me. Okay, that's
Okay.
it.
Oh yeah.
I just got better too.
Yeah, definitely. It's good.
Yeah, I'm good. Wait, thank you. Appreciate that, man. But humility opens the door for, like I said, a gateway. It's almost like you learn so much more being in like a student position and kind of assuming you are the master.
Yeah.
Kenny, how do you feel about the topic of humility, man? Not a very humble guy. That guy different.
I'm not humble, bro. I'm humble. It's needed. Honestly, some people just need to witness, humility to really.
They need to witness humility.
Yeah, I feel like we live in a society where things are, I'm not gonna say it's necessarily easier for us, right? But we have a lot more than what a lot of people in other countries.
First world country, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we got it pretty good. The fact that we get to stroll out of bed and to be able to get something to eat, to be able to take a shower, use electricity, even the simple things like even getting in a car, drive somewhere. And when you start to lose that humility, you kind of are, in some cases, kind of ungrateful as well too.
That's a good point.
It's very easy to get ungrateful and just think that it's sometimes even selfishly like, man, why is this other person having more success than I'm having?
And that kind of closes the door for your own success, not only with collabs with them because you're envious of their growth, you're envious of their success. You kind of, in spite of them, you're like, oh, I'll never work with that person. They're doing so much better than me. But being happy for someone can be the best tool to kind of advance yourself, man. I've seen it a million times where me or another business is happy for someone and kind of congratulates them. Like to take for example what you guys do. We have the nutrition club, the Wave of Vitality. But we also have sister clubs that are not necessarily in the same organization, but we still support, we still show love to, and it's reciprocated back to us, and now everybody flourishes. When someone comes, to the Fort Myers area, and they're looking for a nutrition club, where are they gonna go? Wave of Vitality, and if they're happen to be in the Estero area, we are gonna suggest, a sister club we may have in Estero. We have ties to, I feel like having ties to different, organizations really helps everyone profit in the long run.
And just want to see everybody win.
Yeah.
It's important to try to, sometimes in our heart we can kind of lose the ability to want to see people win, even your competitors. It's easy to want to just go and compete, but just wanting to see everybody win, it's not just only for your organization of, what you financially benefit from, but imagine looking at that about everybody, everyone's business, everyone's life, everyone's family. A lot of times, because of our humility, something chaotic could happen, and people will start rushing, fighting for gas, fighting for toilet paper. It's very easy to get chaotic without that humility where you're like, let me step back and let me not just only think about myself, but let me think about somebody else as well too. Just gotta be humble. We don't deserve to just, get exactly what we want. We gotta see other people win too. And sometimes that you gotta give up for that too.
That's a very good point, man. I appreciate that. That's to speak from a personal perspective on humility. I feel like being, I am the youngest member of the podcast, and I'm not say I'm quite there as far as the maturity is, to be on the same standing as you guys. And at first it was very difficult to kind of rein in the youthful part of my personality. That's a lot of where the ego came in. I'm like, I came in at first and I was, small, weak, skinny, whatever. And then as I began to grow and I was garnering recognition, it got to a point where I was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Like I am that dude. I went from a place of kind of insecurity and kind of feeling uncomfortable to sticking my chest out. Push people around. Especially when it comes to being around women at the same time. It was like my ego was so boosted up. I feel like there was nothing that I couldn't do. I felt like I didn't need to listen, and I suffered a lot of that from that in the long run. I ended up injuring my back for a little bit. One, because I didn't listen to Granddad. Stretch before you lift heavy. Make sure you stretch after a workout. I need to stretch. I need to stretch before a workout. Don't hop in on a 300 squat in slides, bro. What are you doing? Man, I'll be fine, man. But that was me getting in my ego, and I paid the price for it, man. I paid the price. I hurt my back, and that was, a good 2 weeks. I couldn't really train how I wanted to, and it just, you learn a lot more, like I said, being a more humble person, taking everything with like, okay, this is good. I'm in a good place, but there's still a lot I can learn. There's still a lot I can grow in, I might be, 170 pounds right now, feeling good, looking good, but, to continue to grow and feel better and get to another place, I need to listen to the advice of those that know how to gain that other 20 pounds that I'm trying to gain. Or, I might be making 30, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 a year right now, but if I'm getting cocky, if I'm getting, my business will never go under, I'm going up. No, there's people that have experienced things like a recession. There's people that have experienced things like, the market crashing, their business going bankrupt. People that have experienced, being broke, and they know things that I don't know. They have gone through things that I haven't gone through. Being humble enough to listen to their advice, to their perspective, has really helped me avoid going broke. I haven't been broken, not one. I haven't been broken in 2 years, man. I haven't been at a point where I said I have no money whatsoever. I have nothing. If I ever have struggled with money, I can make more. I've been taught ways to make more money. I've been taught ways to teach others how to make more money. I'm in a place now where I'm capable of so much more. Just off of associating myself with people that have more to offer. That know more about these things than me, that have experienced more in life. And if I wasn't a humble person, if I didn't get a lesson in humility early on, I could have turned out a completely different way. I could have been a more egotistical, someone who complains a lot more. Just coming from a perspective of ego brings a lot of this negative. Oh, I can't believe this didn't go my way. You almost feel a sense of entitlement, And I'm glad that I was able to avert getting to that place, So, humility, I feel like that's a very important lesson to learn. In closing, Kenny, do you have any closing words for us on humility? Mr. Drip.
Whoops. Stay humble, man. Be humble.
That's good, man. Glenn, do you have any closing words on humility?
Hey, that's it, man. It's I know that it's one thing for sure is if I'm sure everybody has challenges, with consistently being able to feel and think that way. But one thing that definitely helps me is like praying about it. Just asking for help. I want to be more humble. Yeah.
Guide me.
Exactly.
That's good. To segue out, man, to the next topic from that, I did mention this a little bit while talking about humility, but insecurities. I feel like that's something that's not really covered, not only with men, but kind of black men. I feel like it's not something that's commonly talked about or addressed, especially kind of growing up. There's a lot of things that if left unresolved can affect you in adulthood?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys maybe cover some insecurities you had growing up and how you've addressed it in your adult life so that it hasn't hindered you. And, you guys are both successful people. You guys are very well-rounded. So I wanted to hear maybe how you've addressed some of the insecurities you had growing up and, what it took to move past that. Who wants to start?
I mean, I can kind of touch on that a little bit. So, for me, like growing up, I kind of had like a desire to want to be able to impact people's lives and help people financially and just really honestly, especially at that age of 7, like I just wanted to change the world. And I think that, just seeing like a lot of stuff that my mom went through, being physically abused, and just working 2 jobs, 6 kids, and like really grinding to make it work, like it just gave me this desire to go even harder. And like, not all of it was 100%, positive, because now in life, I realized that back then I used to, when I was 18, when I was 22, if I was going through like anything challenging, I wouldn't even want to tell my mom because my belief was that I got to take care of her. So I wouldn't even, like, I felt wrong for her to take care of me because that I put in my mind that was my job, so it kind of blocked. I feel like at some points where I just, I could have just allowed her to just be a mom for me, and me not always have the answer, always be the motivation. I feel like, my hunger, my desire, it just had my mindset so strong. So a lot of the challenges that I would go through, my mindset was, it's an opportunity to get better. This is an opportunity to get better. This is an opportunity to get better. Everything. Like until I was about 22, I used to blame stuff. I used to say, oh, it was because of my coaches, and really it was because of my attitude. And I used to just blame like every situation that I was in. If I was in a tight situation financially, whatever it was, I would just blame. And then I realized that it was me. Like I had to take full responsibility of just handling whatever it is that, whatever goals I put in front of me. Like my mind was so strong on just like not using excuses. But it was really because of all the adversity that I seen, my mom and just, like my family go through. It just really gave me that desire. So, I think that it could have easily went off track for me, for sure, because that same desire, when I was around 20 years old, I kind of just really started to get engulfed in the world a little bit and wanting a lifestyle that really, it kind of had me on a path. Like I was like taking 2 steps at the same time because I knew that I wasn't in integrity, but I just really felt like I knew I had to like really make a decision about, what route I wanted to go in life. Like, do I want to be involved in stuff in the streets? And yeah, I'm smart and I'm knowledgeable and I can sell and I got a lot of skills. And then the music that I'm listening to, the type of stuff, the type of people I'm around, the conversations I'm having, it really, I had to make that decision. And I feel like everybody does have a choice to be able to let, something from their past, affect them either positively or negatively, but.
I hear what you're saying, man. And to double back just a bit there, you made a very good point. I feel like, I'm not sure if you were in a single parent household the whole time, but, a lot of the time, young men kind of struggle with the idea of, and you're making a point of how you wouldn't let your mother be a mother, and I really wanted to kind of hone in on that pain, that there's pain there, whereas we don't want to express, I feel like I've seen a lot in the black community where we aren't very expressive with pain. We kind of internalize it like I have to handle this because we're watching someone else go through all this, someone we care about go through all this pain and all this struggle. We then say, well, why should I add on to that? Let me handle this, and not only do that, but we also try to take on the burden of others. We add that onto our own load. Now we have unresolved pain here, and now we're trying to resolve someone else's pain. So, you know, you double the burden on yourself. And, you know, that's a very good point again, Glenn. You know, I've seen it time and time again, you know, and I've experienced it myself. Of course, you know, I lived in a double-parent household my whole life, but, you know, one of 3 kids, the middle child. There was a lot, you know, that I felt like I internalized, and a lot of resentment that I feel like developed, you know, from, you know, the insecurity of being right smack dab in the middle. So I had a younger sister that, you know, the youngest kid is the favorite kid, and you know, that's the last one, it's the cutest one, it's the last baby, and the oldest one is the example setter, is the, you know, the forefather. He sets the precedence for everyone. He is the one that comes through and is, you know, the example. You know, he was good in school, athletic, he did extracurriculars, and then there was, you know, myself. I almost felt, I was very insecure about being extra. You know, I felt like I was just kind of there. I wasn't the youngest, I wasn't the oldest, you know, I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary. Like I was kind of following the footsteps of my brother. Every school he went to, I went to, you know. But at the same time, you know, I felt like I wasn't, I'm not gonna say valued. Well, you know, I'll say it. You know, in the beginning, I felt like I wasn't valued. I didn't see how I was valued. You know, I was very insecure about my position in that role as, you know, like I said, extra, you know. I didn't feel appreciated, you know. And it wasn't until later that I had to come to realize that I was extremely valued, you know. I was, I'm not gonna say I was insecure for no reason, but the way that they expressed that wasn't in a way that I recognized, you know, as a child. You know, there was a lot of trust given to me, and I was very trusted. You know, I was depended on in different ways. You know, I was valued in a way where, you know, even, you know, recently I became a godfather about 4 years ago, and it caught me entirely by surprise at the time. And, you know, I was like, why am I, you know, why am I a godfather? Why is it, I didn't pick my brother. My brother is the oldest. Why didn't they pick him? Or, you know, I was, you know, and again, it speaks to my being insecure. I was like, well, I don't think I'm right for this position, you know. And the way that, the funny story how my mother told me about that too.
Bro, you know what I'm laughing right now? I thought Kenny was sleeping for a second, bro.
Kenny does, he has been mad.
I was looking at his eyes, I'm like,
Kenny
his eyes.
That's why I don't
Bro,
like
I don't know, man.
Hey, next podcast, no sunglasses.
Yo. What happened? Yo.
He knocked out, bro.
No, I'm not.
But, nah, man, to double back, you know, how I was told was, I think I was 17. I think I was 16 or 17. I was sleeping. And at this point, randomly, you know, I don't know if you guys know anything about, you know, Haitian mothers, but Haitian mothers don't care if you sleep, they don't care what time it is, they'll wake you up. If they got something to tell you, they'll wake you up, they'll hit you right in the face. Get your rest, you know. It was a good sleep too. I don't even know what I was dreaming about, but I was dreaming. And she pulled up, she was banging. I hear a whole bunch of stuff, bang, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, what's going on? She come in, she's shaking me. She's like, Philly. I'm like, what's going on? And she, of course, she said incredible. She's like, Philly, you're a father. I'm like, what? No, I'm not. Who told you? No, I'm not. Who told you that? She's like, you're a father. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't know. I'm half awake. I'm like, I don't know what she said, but she's lying. She's lying. She's like, what? I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? She's like, no. Rose made you a godfather. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, bro.
Yo, she really need to say that, bro.
Bro, she woke me up and she kept saying you're a father. I'm like, say Godfather first. Because you had me thinking 2 different things.
Bro, I kind of feel like that's a prank, bro. I feel like she pranked you, bro.
Bro, I had a mean pregnancy scare, bro. I was like, who told you that? Which one said that to you? But,
That's crazy.
you know, taking on the responsibility and appreciating that I was chosen for that role out of, you know, everyone. They valued me as a caretaker for children. I spent a lot of my time growing up. You know, my sister's 7 years younger than I am. I have 2 younger cousins. You know, I spent a lot of time with babies. You know, I was, you know, in middle school, I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had 3 kids in my bed, so I had to be up. I had to be up out of the bed. You know what I'm saying? I had to be up out of the bed. I had to make breakfast for the kids. You know, I watching them, making sure that they taking in, you know, TV. They're entertained because as soon as those kids are up, they're up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they get to that 4 or 5 range. You know,
Trust me, I know, bro.
as soon as those jokers are up, man, they are up. I had to watch them for like 3 hours before my uncle came to pick them up, take them to VPK. Then I had to go to school, you know, so I'm going to middle school at the same time. And, you know, there were times where my uncle unfortunately forgot to come. I guess there was a miscommunication between him and my mom and dad, so I spent plenty days stuck at the crib with 3 kids, bro. Imagine being 12 years old, bro. You got 3 kids, you know, you don't know what to do. Yeah. I'm ready for 3 hours. I'm not ready for 12.
So how much kids you got now?
I got 2 kids now. I got 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Nyla and Noah. It's no. I mean, I got my godson, and I mean, my aunt just has some kids that I gotta watch sometimes too. It's something that I enjoy doing. Don't get it wrong. You know, I love kids, man. I definitely love being a caretaker, and eventually I may have my own children to add to the mix. But you know, right now I live vicariously through other parents. You know, I will take, you know, 4 hours and then hand him back to you and go home over, you know, having to, you know, it's different when you have to spend all your time with the kid. Obviously, I'm not a real, you know, I don't have any biological kids of my own, so I haven't I haven't experienced the full parenthood. You know,
You don't know.
I don't plan on doing that anytime soon, bro. Like I said, waking up at 2 a.m. to a crying baby is not fun. And my sister is 13 now. Thank you, Lord. I'm not going back anytime soon. I don't want to experience that. But to double back, you know, there's a lot of insecurity, you know, in not feeling secure and not feeling appreciated and recognizing that I was, you know, and it took a while to see that value again. You know, it took a while to see that I was appreciated, and how they did it, you know, was trusting. You know, trusting me with kids, trusting me with a house key. You know, they trusted me with a vehicle. You know, I drove. You know, I can't get arrested. Nah, I drove for a year without a license. You know, my dad trusted me.
They just asked if you can get arrested for that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get arrested for that anymore. I drove a year without a license. My dad gave
Bro,
me
I'm about to snitch, bro.
the keys. He gave me the keys to a Honda and said,
The keys to a Honda.
I'm not driving you anywhere.
Which was 14? 15?
I was 15. He said, if you want to go somewhere, give me the keys. And I was like, but I don't have a license. And he was like, but nothing. I gotta go to work. You know? But nothing. I was like, okay, yes sir. And you know, I remember first time I had guests in the car. Man, he was blunt, bro. He was like, I ain't taking you nowhere no more, bro.
They had that money for the bail.
They rushed me.
They had the bail money. Yeah.
They rushed me to get a permit so that my dad could straight up be like, somebody has to drive the car, and it's not gonna be me. I'm like, but I don't have a license.
What about your brother though?
He was in Boca. It was actually his old car. So it was a busted up Honda Accord. I don't even know.
1995.
We don't know how many miles it had on. We didn't know how many miles it had on it until after we had gotten rid of it because of a car accident. It had like 300,000 plus miles by that time.
That's wild.
We called it the Haitian Challenger. Bro.
Haitian Challenger.
I called it the Haitian Challenger.
Haitian Ferrari, yeah.
That joker.
It's fast, bro.
That joker. I mean, it took me
It's a
to.
muscle car guy.
My
Bro.
guy, that joker took me to, I don't know if you guys ever been to Gulf Coast High School. I hit, you know, I-75 and I was going 60 though. Couldn't go past 65, but I was.
You start shaking.
I was, ooh. Oh.
Yo.
I was whipping in that mirror, bro. I had to leave that joker at school
the doors are
several
shaking.
times because it wouldn't start. I had to sleep at work. If it was a Friday afternoon and I had to work Saturday morning, I had to sleep at work. I called my dad. I'm like, the car's not starting. What you want me to do? If it's not starting, you gotta wait till it starts.
Yeah. You gotta wait.
I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, Dad. Don't get it twisted. My dad's a great guy, man. He's a great guy. This guy,
Yo.
he pulled me out. He pulled me
You
out.
had to
Mad
figure something
situation.
out, bro.
I had to figure it out. You know?
Yo, that's crazy.
I remember once, you know, I just slept in that joker, man. I was like, I gotta work in the morning anyway. I got up, you know, I hit myself with some sink water, and I got to work.
Yo.
And after I clocked out, I started the car and I drove home.
Wait, so it started on its own? Like,
Yeah,
Just had to wait, bro.
the car had its own mind. It had an opinion.
That's crazy, dog.
You know, I used to have to hit.
That's a
Wow,
whip.
bro.
That's a whip.
Nah, bro, your dad controlled the car, bro, or some shit.
Now, me and him connected a lot off of that vehicle, though. You know, to get to a new point, man. Me and him connected a lot because of shared pain, man. I mean, there was times where, you know, the car just would break down in the middle of the street. You know, I was turning. I'll never forget this. I was turning. You know where the old Kmart used to be at in Fort Myers? You know, Kmart where the Edison Mall is.
Yeah.
I was turning right there to go to the Edison Mall, and it just stopped. Right in the middle of the turn, it just was like,
No,
I'm not doing
not
it.
making that turn.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not turning.
I'm not doing it. I was like, oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. You know, I used to be so scared.
Yo.
But I learned a valuable lesson from that, bro. Never, if you got a car that starts when you want it to start, I don't care if you don't got an aux cord, you don't got AC, bro. That car had no AC. It had no AC.
It's a sweat box.
It had no aux cord, bro. This joker, I mean,
That big guy twisted
Bro.
into the wind.
bruh, during the summer, I learned heat. Y'all can laugh all you want, but I learned heat resistance in the summer. Now it could be 110 degrees, I'm chilling. People ask me, Finn, why do you wear a jacket? It's so hot outside. Like, you keep a cool mentality, bro. You keep it cool. I used to put ice cubes. Y'all don't understand this type of pain, bro. Man, the windows didn't go down. There was a point in time, windows didn't go down. I'd be at a stoplight. I had to open the door to breathe.
Yo.
Oh
You gotta
my
drive
God.
through. You gotta drive through. You gotta open the door.
I had to open the door to hand them the cash. I had to pull up a little further.
Damn, that's crazy. Man.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. I remember it was one time it stopped. I was pulling out of school and it stopped right at the gate. So I was stuck at the gate.
Yo.
And it was, you know,
Oh my
the
God.
officer, you know, the dude, he pulled up on me. He was like, hey,
Bro, you gonna have to move.
is everything okay, man? I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's too late, bro. One going in, one going out. And the one going in was full. And the one going out was full too. And he said, what are we gonna do? I was like, hey, let me call my dad. Man. Let me call my dad.
Oh my God.
You might be able to make something happen.
Yo.
So you push it out the way or what?
Yo, we sat there for 30 minutes.
No.
Yes. I was
Are
in
you
that line for
serious?
30 minutes. It started. As soon as it started, I pulled off. I pulled off. The next day I walked to school. I didn't even want to take my car
Oh
back.
my God.
I didn't want to be
bro.
recognized as that guy.
Yo, that's
If I brought my car back, they would know it was me. They would know it was me.
Oh my God.
And
Yo.
plenty
That's
of times,
crazy.
bro. I got in a lot of trouble in that car too, man. I did a lot of irresponsible stuff in that vehicle, especially for the type of car it was, man. The Haitian Challenger, bro. I was doing a lot of promiscuous, I'm gonna put it like that, promiscuous things in that vehicle.
With no tents.
No tents,
No
man.
tents, bro.
I-
Clear as day.
I was in Lehigh though,
Yo,
so
that's
I get a
crazy.
pass because I was in Lehigh. But I remember one time I went to meet a young woman, and we XYZ, etc., etc. And once we had gotten finished, you know,
Finish, hold up, I missed part of it.
well, you know, etc. You understand what happens when a young man and a young woman meet. eat. You know, it used to be on. The funny part about it was it used to be on my lunch breaks. At my first job ever, I used to have these fat lunch breaks in between shifts. It used to be like 4 hours, you get 2 hours off. 4 hours, you get 2 hours off. And like during the afternoon, I would just drive up to Lehigh and go meet her, and I would, you know, do my thing, work my magic, and I drive back. You know, go back to work. I punch back in. You know what I'm saying? I still got work to do that day.
That guy ain't even eat, bro.
But, who didn't eat?
Yo.
Hey, make me a sandwich before you come to the car. Make me a sandwich before you come to the car. Grab me a sandwich, you know, and I remember one time.
Drink a protein shake.
You know, the problem with that was that my parents thought I was at work the whole time. So I couldn't call Pops like I usually would to be like, hey, bail me out. I think the car battery died because I left the car on because, you know, she didn't want to sweat. I'm like, hey, you doing too much. But I left the car on.
Sweat.
You know, I left.
Bro, you ain't telling the regulations of the car guy?
She ain't know, but.
Bro, what you mean, bro? Hey,
it is what it is.
Hey, look, the window don't go down.
It is what it is, man.
AC. You feel me?
The craziest part was I went to start the car. She started walking away. I went to start the car, and that bitch hit me with a.
That big growling.
And then it just started clicking. It said, I'm like, it's not even. I start bugging. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Yeah. How do I explain to my dad why I'm in the middle of the street in Lehigh right now? What do I tell him? Yo, I started coming up with stories, man. I'm supposed to deliver. One of the residents told me to deliver a package to his grandson, and I was like, damn. I'm really about to die out here, bro. 'Cause I'm not about to call him. If I call him, he's gonna kill me. So I started calling all my homeboys at this time. Them niggas 16 right now. I'm the only one with a decent whip. Hey bro, I don't know what you want me to do, bro. Hey bro, I don't know what you. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Are you sure? Did you put the key? You started it, right? I'm like, yo, you're so smart.
Yo, that's
I didn't
crazy.
try to put the key in there.
Oh my God.
Let me try that next time, bro.
Wow.
None of them knew how to. They couldn't. I mean, they could tell you a hubcap from a soda cap, but them niggas was not. Them niggas was not all there, bro.
Oh
So,
man.
To get out of that situation, I made a drastic move, bro. I made a very deadly move. I had to call my boss. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna be late. He's like, what happened, bro? I'm like, man, that car battery stuck. Cause he knew what I was doing, you know, on my breaks. You know, he knew cause my little brother, he's not actually my little brother, but he's like my little brother was working there too. And of course, you know, I was telling him what I was doing, and he was telling everybody in the workplace what I was doing.
Yeah, I feel you, a
So,
savage boy.
He called me, and he was a very nice guy. His name was Walter, bro. Shout out to Walter, man. He had a daughter that lived in Lehigh, man. And I was like, if you can do anything to get me out of this situation, man, I will owe you one. And he called his daughter up, bro. And my phone was about to die. It was the worst set of situations. My car battery died. My phone battery was about to die. You know, I was stuck in Lehigh, unfamiliar territory. I ain't know left from right.
Electrical issue guy.
It was terrible.
Battery.
But his daughter came through. She jumped my car. Luckily, but last minute, she jumped my car. I'm getting mad calls from, you know, people that work with me, like, what happened? Where you at? Yo, there's dishes piling up. You know, there's.
Get your ass back there, boy.
You know, you gotta come do these
Hurry
dishes.
up, man.
You know, I'm getting mad calls. They wondering where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm like, chill out. But he saved me, man. I definitely owe Walter big time for that. But he was a good dude, but I don't think he was a good dude. You know, he was being a good dude just to be a good dude. If I'm being honest with you, bro.
Wow, you say that.
Man, Walter was he definitely had some interior motives with that, but this dude kept trying to seduce me, bro.
What?
As a young 16-year-old
What
man,
the fuck, bro?
bro, I was yeah.
He tried to seduce
He
you.
tried to seduce me, man.
What'd you do?
Bro, bro, what do you think I did? What do you think I did? I had to run.
Yo, hey, Walter. Hey, look, Walter. I don't know what you think, bro. Hey, don't go this way.
Hey, bro.
Come on.
Dude was.
Remember that favor?
Dude was way older than me, bro.
Bruh.
He was making some weird conversation with me, bro.
Oh my God.
It was like, man, honestly, you know, you a horny young guy, man. I was like,
What?
because he knew what I was doing in Lehigh. All right, so let's preface it with that. He was like, you know, to be honest with you, a lot of guys wouldn't care. You know, if you stuck your whatever in a glory hole, you wouldn't care if it was a man or woman on the other side, would you? I was like, Walter, I think I would care, bro. I'm pretty sure I would care. I'm pretty sure I would care, bro.
Bro,
He was like,
Walter almost got you, bro.
Walter tried to get me, he tried to get my thinking different, bro. I was like, Walter, bro, I appreciate you jumping the car for me, man, but I still would care, bro, if it was a man or woman on the other side of the glory hole. But that's a story for a different day, man. We could talk about that weird first job experience, man.
Walter trying to be nice, bro. Yeah, you owe him, remember? You owe Walter.
Yeah,
Walter.
man.
My dog still got you, bro. You still owe him one. You still owe him one.
Whoa. But, weird story aside, all this ties back around. I got a little off track there, but this all ties around to, first topic of humility. I learned humility from the vehicle. I appreciate AC a lot more now. Whether it be 60 degrees in that car, man, I'm thankful because there was a time where I couldn't have AC, man. I was sweating.
Bro, I think we all had that situation in the car that
I had that one.
no AC, the window don't go down, hot as heck, bro. My mom had an Isuzu radio, bro. Isuzu, 1992 or some shit. Bro, it's funny as hell. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We been hearing missions in that Isuzu. Bro,
I'm telling you.
That Isuzu, bro, ran its asses off, bro. But, bro, it was so funny, bro. I remember when that shit wouldn't start, bro. Bro, it had an electrical issue. Bro, I'll be at a red light. You feel me, hell, bro? That bitch turned green. You look bad.
The most embarrassing part, bro. They start honking at you. Bro, you hear all type of slurs.
Bro.
You try to apologize. They're like, oh my gosh, get the fuck out of the way. Somebody came, they knocked on the window. I had to duck down. I had to lock the car.
That shit crazy, bro.
I'm like, Dad, I need you to calm down, bro. Where you at, Dad?
Oh, man, bro, I remember, bro, it stopped at the Boy Scout, Boy Scout.
Oh, my.
Summerlin.
Where?
On Summerlin by ATC. Yo, you know where you gotta go. This thing, you gotta go. I'm by myself.
Stop in the car.
I'm trying to turn the car while I'm pushing it, bro.
Damn.
That guy by the wheel.
Bro. That shit was crazy, bro. We had some good, cool Samaritans that came and helped me push the car out of the way.
Man.
Shout out to them, bro.
I never had them, bro.
Bro, honestly, it was embarrassing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you cannot pick up a gun in that car, bro.
Bro.
G-Jump, bro. You don't know what you're gonna get.
I lost so much play in a vehicle like that, bro.
Bro, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
2 girls, I'm supposed to take them home. We get to the car.
Hey,
I'm excited. I'm lit, you know what I'm saying? I open the door to the car, I get in, I'm like, get comfortable. You know what? It's about to be a smooth ride. You with fresh fin.
Fresh fin.
I put the key in the ignition. That bitch hit me with a. They're like, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, yo, give it a sec. I gotta talk to him real quick. I'm like, bro,
I gotta talk to him.
I'm like, if there's one time when you knock this out for me, bro, I'm begging you right now.
Yes,
Long story short, man, they ended up going home with another guy, bro.
Damn.
I was stuck out there.
Wow.
Very disappointed in that parking lot. I had to take a nap. I was so sad.
You had to sleep it off.
I had to take a nap, man.
Yo, that's crazy.
I took a nap instead, man.
Boy, you was sad. Oh my God.
I slept off my disappointment. I woke up. I hit it.
Oh my God.
I hit some push-ups and I went to sleep, man. I was like, all this aggression, man. Okay. But to segue onto more relevant issues, funny car stuff aside, though, Kenny, back on topic, my friend. Tell me a little bit about insecurities you had, growing up, man. Did you have anything that stood out to you? What stood out, and how did you kind of get over it?
Kind of the same situation, gun story.
With pain?
My mom being a single mother, and me and my brother, trying to make it, trying to make ends meet and stuff. And she wouldn't we wouldn't allow her to, she wouldn't tell us a lot of stuff that she's going through,
Right.
and stuff, and we can kind of tell that, but we still help a lot, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's just her growing up and her not showing, that she's struggling and that she needs help or whatever. She's always been the person to make it happen. You know what I mean?
Right, make ends meet.
Exactly.
Shout out to the single moms. Shout out to the 2-parent households, man. Really in the lower middle class thing, and making it happen for kids, man.
Yeah.
A lot of time in my childhood as well, there was times where we ain't had cable, and I used to think, I want to watch SpongeBob. And I had to get over that very fast. And I feel like a part of growing up, I'm grateful for was times like that where I had to realize that money, I learned the value of money from situations like that. I learned money, it has the power to completely change your life one way or another. If you have money, if you have a lot of money, you're capable of so many different things. But if you the absence of money, you miss out on a lot. You learn to value things as well. But and I feel like that's an important lesson a lot of people should learn. And I myself, not having to struggle with money anymore, I'm very grateful for that. But again, I'm very appreciative that there were times where we didn't have cable, we didn't have we used to have off-brand cereal. People used to come to my house and they used to ride me, bro. I used to have fruit circles. I had Frosty Flakes, not frosted, Frosty Flakes. I had oat rounds and stuff like that, bro. The off-brand cereal, the off-brand chips, the great value chips. When I wanted the Lay's, I got the great value, and it was stuff that it was like when I was 7, I used to be like, why am I getting this bourgeois? Well, when I was 6, I didn't notice it, and then when I was 7, you start to become more kind of socially aware. Your friends start to share more of their home experience. Now it's not just about let's play at the playground. Let's talk about SpongeBob. Let's talk about the new show on Nickelodeon. I didn't see the new episode of SpongeBob. I didn't see it. I was watching Arthur. I was watching the you guys know the free channels, the antenna channels, the antenna channels.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow. I was talking about Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Reading Rainbow.
They're talking about SpongeBob,
bro.
I know
Powerpuff Girls, man.
No, Powerpuff Girls wasn't free.
It wasn't free.
That wasn't free. You don't know the free shows, man. You got to watch quality TV.
Simpsons.
Saturday.
Oh, The Simpsons was free, wasn't it?
But
Yeah.
Simpsons
Yeah,
that was
Simpsons
on
was
Fox.
free.
But you see that at 11 p.m. I'm talking about. You want to watch cartoons? You got to wake up at Saturday, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. through 12 p.m.
Exactly.
8 a.m. through 12 p.m. You're watching Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade,
Pokemon,
Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
Rubik's.
All that, bro.
You watching the good. I feel like I got a lot of character from that, bro. Because if I knew if I woke up a minute late, bro, I'm missing something that I'm not gonna see again for another week.
Static Shock.
Static Shock.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Very
Yeah.
grateful for that, man, because but like that's a good point, man. Again, shout out to the families making it happen, man. It takes a lot to not only hide that, as best as you can. Of course, kids are very perceptive. They're gonna pick up on it one way or another, but it's very hard to put on a front when you're struggling. It's very, very difficult, and I commend you for that. On to the next topic of discussion for today. I want to talk a little bit about, with recent events. I want to talk about freedom of speech, man. I want to talk about speech. Do you, first, let me just put this out there. Do you believe that there should be freedom of speech? Or there is? Well, let's do should be. Let's not talk about if there is or isn't, but should there be freedom of speech? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, with that though, where do you think it stops being free speech? Where do you think it converts to? Do you think hate speech is something included in free speech? Or is that kind of its own, own separate thing? And if it is, then, because I personally, I'm going to talk my own personal beliefs. I believe, with freedom of speech, that opens the door for hate speech. It opens the door for kind of, not only hate speech, but speech that that you don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
To have true freedom of speech, you have to have everyone across the board being able to speak freely. And do I believe some speech? There are going to be repercussions. Say it that way. I feel like there's going to be repercussions for things that you say and do. With any decision, you're free to decide to say one thing to someone, but they're also free to react.
Yeah.
I can call Glenn, granddad a million times, but one day he might just snap. He's free to do that as well. He might just, he's like, you know what? I'm tired of this dumb kid talking to me like this, man. And that's his freedom. He's free to say that to me too. I like the concept of freedom of speech, man. I really like it. It's a novel idea, but I don't think if we want real freedom of speech, man, we're gonna have to do a lot of personal growth as like a society. There's a lot of sensitivity to certain things, and there's things that people say to other people that I'm a true advocate of it's not what you say, it's how you say it. There's a million and one ways to tell Kenny I don't like your shirt. It doesn't really suit you like that, bro. You look ridiculous. Take that shirt off, bro.
What's on my shirt, bro?
You look ridiculous, but take that shirt off, bro. You look like an idiot, bro. Hey man, it might not be your style, bro. Honestly, it might not be your style.
My swag, bro.
You see how it's two different ways. It's two different ways to say that. One way was kind of a more, I personally don't like that shirt on you. Now I'm not saying I don't like this. It's a nice shirt. I'm Nike. I'm sponsored by Nike. Shout out to Nike. But
Sponsored by me.
I'm a Nike athlete, guys. If you
don't get paid.
If you see my fits, Nike sends me clothes. It's the same. It looks like the same jacket, but it's really a different jacket.
It's the same jacket.
It's the same jacket. So, who told you that? No, but it's how you say things. It really matters. It matters a lot.
I think as well too is if it's a threat. Like, yeah, I can say whatever I want to say about you, but if I threaten you, that's different. That's a different. Now we're talking to a different conversation.
Okay.
Because there's been many times people have said things to me, and I could have just wanting to fight about it, but just because they say something don't really mean anything. Now it's different if someone comes up to me and they threaten me, then I'm gonna protect myself.
Okay.
So, but it's because one is just your opinion, the other one is like it's almost in a way. It's kind of in a way kind of assault. Like I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna blow something up. I'm gonna yeah, we got freedom of speech, but I can't call the school and say, hey, I'm gonna blow this up.
You definitely could.
I can say
definitely
it.
could do that.
I can say it.
There's been times.
But there's gonna be some consequences.
There have been plenty of times where
Exactly.
I was in school and everybody. Just to speak on that, bro. Can we get some help for the public school system? I can tell they didn't care about my life, bro. Because every time they had a bomb threat, they took us to the same place. They got everybody together, and they took us out to the bleachers.
So the thing is,
all it takes is one person to be like, let's put a bomb under the bleachers.
Exactly.
It's
Crazy.
over. It's like all 4 years I went to high school, they didn't change the spot not one time. So I was like, wait, do you understand?
you're bringing us to where we're supposed to be.
Like you're bringing us where we could die. There was a fire in the school once. You know where they took us? Out to the bleachers. I'm like, wait a second. What if they put the bomb under the bleachers? They're not gonna tell you there's a bomb in the C hallway corridor under the. No. There's a bomb at the school. Let's take us off the property. Take us to different locations off the property. But that's neither here nor there. I felt like that's something that we're gonna need to change in the public school system moving forward, man. I don't understand, it just that. Anyway, Glenn, you made a good point. Threats. I feel like threats shouldn't be included in free speech. I think personally, if we want free speech, I feel like someone should be allowed to look me in my face and be like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Now, if he chooses to act upon that statement, that's a different conversation. him making me aware that he's gonna assault me, is definitely a huge plus. And that's why
You're like, all right, thank you.
that is a huge plus.
Thanks for telling me.
You're gonna
Thanks
punch
for
me in the
telling
face? Oh, okay, wham! And I hit him first, or I anticipate the blow and I go and I dodge it, and then I give him a right hook, left hook, whatever. We then move on from there. Or him again. I'm a huge advocate of free speech. And I like freedom of speech just because I would rather you air out your issues with me openly. If you don't like me, tell me that. If you think what I said is stupid, tell me that. If you think what I'm talking about is dumb, tell me that. I love the upfront, honest, whether you're blunt or not, if you're honest with me, that opens the door for a conversation. If we continue to censor things, if we continue to, don't say that. Oh, no, don't say that. You can't say that. He said what? Cancel him. You're not allowing people to have opinions that differ from your own. It's going to get to a scary place. Now, inciting violence and inciting, bad things like that, that's different, and it's something that I am not super excited about, but, I don't want to tell someone he can't say something, when he can. If we're gonna have freedom of speech, it should be freedom of speech. Now, are there going to be things that come with? If I say like, hey guys, let's get together and let's blow up the Capitol, but no, not saying that's what I'm gonna do. But if I say something like that, I would expect the CIA, I would expect the FBI. I would expect them to knock on my door and say, can we have a conversation? Can we talk about what you just said? I'd be like, scariest thing, I actually did get I was interviewed and investigated by a federal agent at one point in my life, which is, it was,
Yeah, I'm feeling about to hear something wild.
it's nothing crazy, it's just a homeboy of mine wanted to join the military, but he wasn't born, can you scoot in a little bit, Glenn? He wasn't born and raised in America. So I was put on a list of close confidants, and then I was contacted by a federal agent, and he asked me a few questions, and he wanted to set up a time and place. He wanted to come to my house initially. Now, of course,
the federal agent
being
to a Haitian household.
Yeah, being in a Haitian household, if a police officer knocked on the door and said, I'm here to speak with Finley, that would not have gone very well, with my parent. Speak with who? Speak with who? My son? And
No. You don't need Finley.
It could have gone one or two ways.
Not my Finley.
I could have had
another Finley down the road now.
I would have had my conversation with, Officer. I forget his name, so I'm gonna call him Officer Gomez, because
Officer Gomez.
I forget his name. First name that popped into my head was Officer Gomez. He was a white guy though, so I don't know why I thought Gomez. But
dude, Gomez is not white though. That's like Spanish.
I don't want to generalize. I met some Caucasian Gomez.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nah, he probably been too.
Gomez is a family name, bro. I mean, Finley's an Irish name, and I don't look Irish.
Nah.
I don't look Irish.
Nah.
Finley's a very Irish name. I get mad people.
I do look Irish.
When I look a little Irish.
You got a little Irish.
People tell me my hair turns red in the sun, so.
Alright, so you're ginger?
I'm a low-key ginger, bro.
You a ginger?
I have Irish roots, guys.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah, bro.
This
hey,
is.
Man, so you know where the pot of gold is at.
Well, you know what?
That pot of gold. Lucky charm.
Dang, you threw me completely off with that. You threw me completely off with that. Lucky charm. Who made you like this, bro?
Yo.
I was about to make it.
Oh, man.
You threw me off with that, bro. But to double back. Bro, what's wrong with you? Oh yeah, you can, and just so I know, man, this is something that's gonna be happening every week, man. You can find us at Instagram at True Gains Media, and on YouTube at True Gains Media. True Gains _ Media on Instagram _ never forget it, and True Gains Media just flat out like that on YouTube. I'm gonna be tagging the links in the video. Special announcement: I'm launching the YouTube and the Instagram page specifically for the podcast as well. Very excited about that. There's gonna be clips posted on my main channel and these, this older gentleman and this middle-aged man.
This guy funny, man.
But it's not funny. But why you laughing?
You just gotta be humble. That's what what it is. We gotta train together again. That's what we gotta do. I gotta work out with you. I don't think so, man.
Honestly, man,
I think he was one of those guys that came in hot, and he kind of already he's talking about what used to happen in the past, and it's just gonna be like that.
Exactly. He's like, yo, remember I used to be the fastest one on the team, but
oh, is that so? Oh, okay. So I burnt out.
Yeah.
Oh.
We lost fuel.
Physically, I burnt out.
Yeah.
Okay. We shall see.